Hello folks, welcome to another daily Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Today, unfortunately, because of my work with delay, so I need to make it today a little bit quicker, otherwise you will receive this analysis very late. It's your time, it's my time. So let us start with the initial comment. First of all, some people are wondering why I'm bullish on US dollars. Well, once again, I'm not only bullish on US dollar, and my theory or the reason why I'm bullish on US dollar, it's not because of the US economy. It's not because of US in general, but because the US dollar will be the same like the gold reserves in other countries. A tool of power. That's nothing new. I mean, over centuries we know that kingdoms in the past, they used gold as a tool of power. And that's what the USA did with its US dollar. They were even smarter, because then they said, we don't need gold. We don't need to bake it with gold. Doesn't matter. US dollar is US dollar. Like Maxis say, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. Well, it's exactly the same. And, we need to change a little bit how we see everything at the moment, because we are in a transition phase. I will explain a little bit why, and why we shouldn't follow always patterns, because patterns is something that the brain loves to have, patterns. So things that they repeat over and over and over again. I will show you one picture. It looks exactly the same like the second picture, or it changed, but it changed in a way where you are noticing a pattern. So I can show you one picture, another picture, another picture, another picture, and the fifth picture you will think, and your brain will automatically indicates you the same pattern will happen in the fifth picture. That's where you are going to have an aha effect in case it's not happening. It's not you, it's your brain. Your brain will say, holy shit, where's the pattern? And that's the problem why I don't like to trade patterns. Because it's my brain that's saying me, hey, that's what it's going to happen, because it happened in 2012, it happened in 2016, it happened in 2020, it will happen in 2024. And then everyone will be, when it doesn't happen in 2024. Because it's our brain. Our brain is big, and we don't use, I don't know if we use 5% of the brain. I don't think so. I'm not a scientist, so I really don't know. But I think we are using much less. Many in crypto space not even using it. But that's another story. However, so the thing of patterns is it works until it stops to have a pattern. And that's the big problem. What we are seeing right now in the markets, on the surface, everything looks like as usual. Nothing different. But if we start to research a little bit, we will start to find changes. And that's not a pattern. Changes that obviously we can't see if we are not going to check it deeper. We remember the discussions of 0DTE. I mean, usually I would say smart if institutionals can use hedge funds and so on 0DTE to push up the price and make big gain. What is a 0DTE for those who never heard about? Well, many institutions and big players are using 0DTE on SPY, for example. On SPY, that's a future market where you can also trade options. If you start to use options, for example, as you know, usually you will start options that are at least mid or long term. Because then, they will cost more, But in case that the market starts to flip, you can adapt to the market and minimize your risks. If you are going to buy short-term options, and short-term means usually 2 weeks, 1 week, maybe a few days, then these options will be extremely cheap, but also extremely leveraged. That's the difference between futures and options as well, that the leverage of an option also depends on the expiry. So if the expiry is coming closer and closer and closer, the value of the options should decline. Attract also people to buy. It's a little bit gambling because, high leverage, short term, if the market doesn't make what you think, it's like to trade a 100 leverage future. It can just wreck you very quick. So what does that mean, 0 DTE? Well, 0 DTE means they will expire at the same day. Yeah, at the same day, just few hours ago. Few hours ago? No, that's wrong, but in few hours. Why is that risky? Well, extremely high leverage. So the market has to make what you're doing. But now, if you have enough money and you buy enough 0 DTE, the good thing is if you buy all of them, first of all, you almost don't need any collateral. And second, you force the market maker to hedge. So to buy the future, to sell the future, depends what you're doing with your 0 DTE. Mainly it's calls, so pushing up, expecting that the price goes up. And so what they are doing is buying 0 DTE for the same days, buying 0 DTE and so on and so forth. So the market maker has to buy the futures, and so the future price of SPY goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up. That works with a period of time, and I'm not going to explain everything in detail, but that's how they manipulate, for example, a huge market like the SPY to push up the price. That didn't happen just before. The question is why. We have seen, for example, on crypto, high leverage positions, a lot of different big actors gambling. That's the pattern. High risk. Why are they taking more risk? That's what I called just a few months ago turbo capitalism. Make a lot of profit and you don't care about any kind of collateral damages. So if you are forcing the market maker, for example, and the price starts to nuke because of an event like it happened in March 2020, for example, with COVID, you can imagine what will happen with the market maker. Well, different banks and analysts out there are alarming and saying 0 DTE is a very, very, very bad game. And if that flips, means that can push the market easily 20% down or even 30%. And then we need to see if someone is going to buy the dip. So the pattern here is we are seeing big gamblers. We are seeing people who are thinking and using every single tool to create big profit and short term. And that's something that always happened. Always before a big collapse, before a transition, before a big conflict, before, it means also that they have some insider informations. If we take a look to all of that, and at the same time we move now a little bit more up to the geopolitical stage, and we see all these, moves, activity, US treasuries, FEMA programs since 2021 that allows foreign central banks to use their US treasuries as collateral to get USD liquidity, US dollar. That's artificially creating a demand for something, in that case, for US dollar. On the other side, if you are not in favor of the US, that's what I said, black or white, you can decide you are our friend and ally, or you are not our friend and our enemy. That's what George W. Bush, in a different sentence, said when he wanted to attack Iraq. And he said, you can be for us or you can be against us, but you can't be neutral. And that's exactly what we are forming. It's a bipolar world where we have those who will buy gold and unload US treasuries, like, for example, at least in case of China happened, almost 200 billion since last year, January 2022. Japan as well, but Japan is an exception because Japan is just doing it to support their own currency. Because, Japan still not having the same monetary policy like the US. So what they are doing is selling US treasuries to support their own Japan yen currency. But it's not the case with Saudi Arabia that sold US treasuries and are selling US treasuries and instead, for example, buying more gold. It's not the case like China. It's not the case with Russia. It's not the case with Brazil. It's not the case with India. It's not the case with many other countries. But we will see a trend. We will see those who are not going to buy gold, but instead buy more US treasuries. And we will see those who will not care about the US dollar and US treasuries and instead buy gold. So it's really easy that what we are going to see is a big disruption of the whole global economy, because we are in a reverse trend. If we did a lot of progress in the last decades, creating more and more trade agreements and bringing more and more a global economy now, and that was the initiation of the big problem that we happened since 2021 when inflation starts to push up. Now some people would say, that was COVID. Yeah, partly it was COVID, but we are not going to talk now about COVID. The question is, was it COVID just coincidence? Or was it just well prepared? I don't know, but the German government knew about something like COVID just years ago. They even call it and name it almost COVID. But that's another story. We are not going to talk about that. However, we are not going to talk about conspiracy theories. However, the thing is that market actors know exactly what is happening. And what they are doing is to generate as much profit as they can in the short term, because the markets are changing. The markets are becoming more and more a gambling or a gambler's paradise. Not only crypto. Forget crypto. I mean, that's a little bit the nature of crypto. We are unregulated, and that will attract a lot of different people, and many of them are gamblers. But the traditional finance market? Well, sometimes it happened. We know 2008, for example. just selling shit for a good price and to crash different national economies. But in general, when you see that big institutions and when you see that big market actors start to change their trade behavior, because usually they love safe but profitable trades. And profitable doesn't mean what you think. Hey, I'm using $400 and I do 5,000. No. They are absolutely fine to use 400 millions and to make every day just in yield 70,000. Now you could say, what? With 400 millions, I would invest 400 millions in doggy and I would make much more in 24 hours. Yeah, but institutionals don't think in that way. Institutionals love to have a process. They love to have something safe. They don't need to wake up in the morning and say, shit, Elon tweeted and he said it was a trap or they fooled us, we are fucked. No, of course not. They can't react in such ways. And that's the problem when something big happens. Banks usually just can start step by step to close their liquidity, to cut it off, but it takes time. It takes time, and that's the big thing. That's why they like arbitrage. That's why they like such kind, let us make some yield, and that's absolutely enough. Not every of them. We know decades ago with the Deutsche Bank and some other big banks, they tried to make some quick big profit and they got a really big punch in the face afterwards. So they know, okay, we are not going to do it. But what I'm noticing is exactly that. They are changing. They are changing and they are looking for more profit in short term. And it doesn't matter anymore if that could crash the markets afterwards. In Germany, we say, hinter mir die Sintflut, means something like, behind me, I don't care anymore. And that's something that also demonstrates that that's the trend. We are going and we are hitting something that I would call the black hole. And the black hole usually ends, some follower said today, well, US dollar could decline because of wrong reason. And I asked, I don't get you. What you mean with, US recession. US recession? Well, I don't know, but the US reached its economic peak, highlight, years ago. I would even say decades ago. And one thing is to have a shrinking dynamic in your economic, and the other thing is really, to have a recession. Absolutely. But that's a process, and that takes time. So we don't need to wait to get any data like, hey, unemployment is shrinking right now. It's going down or it's going up, for example. That would be part of a recession. That will take time. It will happen, not only in the US. First of all, it will happen in Europe, just before of the US. But it will end like it always ends. Now back to the patterns, but in a military conflict. And we are in a full preparation of it. Everything what happened in the last years, it wasn't just a coincidence. And it wasn't a coincidence that the Fed decided to bring a FEMA program, for example, to allow the central banks to use their US treasuries as collateral to get US dollars. While it wasn't also not a big coincidence that the Russian and Ukraine conflict escalated in 2022. It wasn't. It is part of it. And it's also part of it that the US don't want to attract retail to go to crypto. They don't want to have an alternative market to their market. Canalizing here is key on both sides, not only in the US and its allies, but also on the others, BRICS and their allies. And that's the future. Unfortunately, that's what's going to happen next. In the next years, when I'm talking about geopolitics, when I'm talking about economics, I'm not talking about months. I'm not talking about weeks. I'm talking about years. And 2025 is going to be a key year. 2025 is, in my opinion, the year, and I have said, you can't know it, but one of my friends know it. Just month before the Ukraine-Russian war or conflict, military conflict, war, however, he asked me what I think about it, and I said, well, everything is done. We just need to realize. We just need to realize the agenda. You can think Inspo is losing his mind. Maybe, and maybe you are right. But I said almost 5 months before that the whole conflict will escalate. And not because I know a lot about Russian policy or Ukraine policy. I wasn't really researching a lot about the conflict there, but about some streams, economic streams, political streams, and so on. So, to finish this initial comment, usually when you see that gold price goes up, and in our case now where we know US treasuries as well, you will see that the demand for US dollar will increase as well. And usually that also means that both go up and that markets go down. So I don't know if it will take weeks, months. It will depend of different events. It will depend of some geopolitical streams. It's not about patterns. It's not about charts. It's really just what in the whole global economy will happen. And I see more and more that we are splitting the whole global economy in two parties, and that usually is nothing good. Nothing good for the markets, nothing good for the retail, and usually also not really good for banks and institutionals. That explains maybe also why these guys are looking to buy back their stocks and shares. Not only banks, by the way. However, we will continue. We will track all this progress. I will continue using all this stuff for an initial comment when I see something. It's going to be very interesting to track gold purchases by country or central banks and US treasuries, because more and more you will see that the whole picture that's at the moment a little bit foggy and dust will become more clear. So let us keep tracking them, and let us talk now about the market. So what we see here, well, yeah, it went up a little bit, the weights ratio 1 day time frame, then a decline. That's what it's happening. It's now declining, maintains still relatively high, 48, because I would expect something hitting 40%. Something we need to see if that's going to happen. So more down, more down, more down, more down. If that's the case, usually that will start to be bullish. At the moment, still in a situation that looks to me a little bit like distribution. And we need to see what's going to happen. Because, as mentioned many times, wealth ratio is not the indicator that tells you, hey, we are going to nuke, but we are going to distribute. And usually, and that's one pattern that comes over and over again in the past, a distribution always at least was meaning a nuke or dump is coming. This time it seems it's not, at least not yet, or is coming with delay. I really don't know. But something have also changed here related to the crypto market when it comes to the weights ratio, it seems. Because if we take a look to the weights ratio 30 hours moving average and even the 1 hour time frame, we can see they are low to let the price go up again. That's what we can see once again. That's what happens in the past as well. You remember? Look that, how volatile it is. Push up to 100%, go down to 60, push up again. Let it. So the trend was more up, then it declined and the price goes up, right? So it declined, the price goes up. The price goes down, the price goes up. So it really feels, it keeps feeling like a single entity is managing the whole market. And they decide, now we need a little bit more sell pressure, come, let us distribute a little bit, and so on and so forth. At the same time, the net flow, as you can see here, and we will check later on in my other net flow chart, that the net flow here is minus 2,200, indicating someone just withdrew 2,200 bitcoins. But just before it was more, they let the price go up, distribute, and they are taking out now, some people taking out the bitcoins. Skew52, who is also an analyst and on Twitter, he said, big guys are buying, market makers selling. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. While retail, of course, on the bullish side. The question is, why are big guys buying? Are big guys now saying, the market maker is dumb and we are smarter? Usually it's not the case. So we will see what's going to happen, because that's also a very strange story, what is happening at the moment in the market. The stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges lifted up a little bit, but as you see, the weights ratio 30 hours moving average declined here, pushed up again, and declined. So everything below of 88 and everything above of 90 is really the situation where I would say now it's time to run, but not happening. So let us go forward. So if we take a look here, for example, now we see those 2,340 bitcoins outflows, and we can see that we received here, for example, 1,400, then we received here another 860, and so on and so forth. But nothing big. I mean, 700 bitcoins here, it's fine. Maybe let us say 1,600 in 6 hours or something. That's absolutely not big. But if we take a look to the, for example, here to the stablecoins, and we can see that we received sometimes, but usually they are taking profit. So someone big is taking profit, then automatically afterwards someone else sent stablecoins. They are maintaining the price. That's what they are doing. They are really here maintaining the price, push up, down, push up, down, push up, down, push up, down. That's what they are doing over and over again. We know that we were tracking the Binance Wallet 14, and if we check right now, 91 millions from 1 billion. Not bad, isn't it? So yeah, that's also it from here. Nothing big happened here, also even related to stablecoins today. Everything was yesterday, so today more activity related to bitcoins and less related to stablecoins. Let us go forward. So let us refresh the site, because the last time I was checking, was hours ago. So now we can see that today, once again, they are taking out more bitcoins, and the weekly, so just since yesterday, flipped. It was red and now flipped a little bit, and the last 4 days still red, indicating we received more bitcoins than outflows. So the balance is still red. but they are taking out. So we are not seeing anymore what we have seen just last month, receiving more and more and more Bitcoins. It's not happening anymore. So sometimes something come and then it goes again, but that's almost it. If we take a look here, we can see they pushed up, and it seems at the moment they don't have any interest to nuke it. They really are waiting, distributing on this price, and they are very happy to see it. They flipped, so sometimes red, then green, then red, then green. We can see that even here, now in the last few days, since the beginning of this month, we lifted up in balances on exchanges, Bitcoin balances on exchanges, and now declined a little bit. But absolutely, I mean, that's, yeah, I'm not sure what time they are using, but it's absolutely not my time. However, nothing have changed here. We still have almost 90,000 Bitcoins on centralized exchanges since end of the year. They are still there. They are not taking them out. So, we need to see, and let us go forward. So if we take a look here, we can see that funding rate declined, pushed up, declined, pushed up with delay, as mentioned yesterday. So I don't know, I guess because the exchanges are not reporting the funding rate every hour. So I guess that's part of why we are having this kind of delays. Open interest declined with the declining price action, then pushed up, then declined a lot more, indicating they here liquidated a lot of longs, then pushed up and once again declined. If we take a look here, for example, we can see leverage ratio pushed up, declined, pushed up, declined a lot, pushed up, and now declining, doing almost the same. We see the correlation between open interest and funding rate. So also here, actually nothing big changed. If we take a look here, that's stable coins, for example, once again, we are seeing more red than green, indicating they are taking profit, taking profit, taking profit. If we take a look here, for example, that's Bitcoins related to derivative exchanges. Today they are taking profit more than flowing in. Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, derivative exchanges showing more outflows than inflows. So we can see funding rate aggregated declining, open interest dumping, leverage ratio dumping, and they liquidated yesterday 1,427 Bitcoins in longs and 757 Bitcoins in shorts, while it was nothing big. So if we check the blockchain whispers, we see it's almost 50-50. Well, a little bit more in favor of shorts, 52 to 48. And on Ethereum looks crazy, 39 to 61. On Bitfinex, we received more shorts, but we didn't decline in longs. And that's usually strange to see that on Bitfinex. Now let us take a look here on Binance. And we see 180 millions, once again, reduced a lot, and we still have a bigger position, or at least a bigger liquidation cluster here on the short side at the price of 41. And oh no, we have a bigger one even on the long side at 19.4. High leverage, I guess, once again on the short positions. We'll see. Crypto loading in 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, I changed the message because it's taking longer. Okay. Come on. Yeah. So obviously everything above of 28.6 and then maybe back to 27.7 or something. So nothing to see here. Always the same game, and we will maintain that level, I guess. I don't know how long, but we will take, and then we will push up or nuke or something. I guess. So let us go forward. So if we take a look, we are trading at 28 at the moment, means we are almost here. Usually the next magnet would be 30k or 25k. On 25k you can see it's an interest of the bears to go there. They are waiting there. At the same time we have a support area at 25k by bulls, a resistance at 30k in case we would go up to 30k. Only if we break this one we would consider to see 35k, but usually it's not the case. So we should always look for the next support and resistance area close to the current price, and at the moment it's 30k or 25k. The GAX, it's lifting up once again, almost 187,000. So you know, usually the GAX indicating FOMO buyers, a lot of FOMO buyers. Yeah, moon, only moon, 40k, 50k, 60k just tomorrow, and that's usually not happening. Wow, okay, let me check here. Long straddle, bull diagonal spread with calls, bear bull call, long straddle. I would consider here to check those both because the volume and premium is not big, so maybe really such kind of short-term options. So I would like to check this for here. Custom strategy, bear put spread, bull call spread, long straddle. Let us start with the custom strategy. We have 14 positions. What is here the biggest one? Here's the biggest one. No, it's oh god, four positions here. So sold buy 50k 26, 24, 32 was sold. So someone is expecting to see a price above of 50k or below of 26k. Usually indicating we should see until end of next month, until end of this month, a price below of 26k, and he is considering to see until end of the year to see a price above of 50k. Instead he sold this combination here that was bearish, and now he is indicating, well, first down then up. Yeah, well, okay. I mean, in case we would have my scenario of US dollar and gold, you know, could be very interesting what role crypto could play. Bitcoin, I have mentioned once, it could be an opportunity, but also a big problem. A big problem because if, for example, the block that is not supporting the US policy, for example, they can maybe use crypto against the US. So nobody knows exactly, you know. I mean, we know that Tether is buying treasury, US treasury, a lot of US treasury. It's within the first 30. I mean, that was a fucking stupid shilling tweet from someone that loves, it seems, Tether, but because the first 30s, you know, who cares? But well, something is behind. Otherwise, you know, why to buy US Treasury if you know that the US government is not really bullish on you? Maybe to force them to be bullish on you, or a different story is behind. As mentioned, I mean, I don't know if that's possible, but in any way to use these US treasuries to get US dollars. So, by a central bank, just imagine you would give a central bank your US treasuries and they are giving you the US dollars and receiving such commissions, for example, for that. Just imagine you could use your Tether could use their US treasuries as collateral to get USD liquidity to pump the market. Just imagine what would happen then, right? Well, that's a different story. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if that's possible. So it's just a theory and just my opinion. But let us check more. That's one and the same. That's too small. That's still. So let me check. So if we check here, they sold 24. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. It seems the same guy. Or whatever. But yeah, it's exactly the same. So also here, expecting until end of the month to see a price below of 26k, indicating 25, I guess, and then after 25 until end of the year, just up. Okay. So bear put spread. If we take here, that's not big at all. Anything, it's, short term, but it's not big. I mean, they are expecting here. What is the bear put spread? Usually the bear put spread is a bearish price, a bearish strategy, indicating here, for example, until end of next week to see a price below of 26k. They are expecting here to see until end of June a price below 24k, and so on and so forth, below 27, below 25, below 25, below 25. So everything is indicating we should see soon a price action that goes down, hitting 25k. That matches very well to these exchange walls and liquidity, what we have seen between 25 and 26, so 25.5 for example, so it would make sense. Now let us check the bullish version, bull call spread, where for May they are indicating that they are expecting to see a price action for this month, a bearish one, to go down, hitting 2025. I'm even a little bit more bearish, where I think to have a solid validation for the bullish price action would be to go down to 20k, from there go up. But they are expecting 25k, that's only $3,000 away from here. And then afterwards, I mean, it's not big. This one is big. This one is, for example, big. And they are expecting also here, and that's always the same, expecting to see end of May a price above of 38k. So if these guys are right, means buy the next dip at 25k, maybe even go a little bit lower, 24, or use 5, that would be something. Maybe even I will try it with low budget, really low bullet. It's much more a funny trade then, just to see if these guys are really, really good or not, because they are so bullish. And I don't know, I really don't know, to be honest. Just to long at 25k in with something like a leverage of 5, and then let it run, see what will happen. Just place $100 or something, You will see if it makes in 6 months something like, 300, 400, 500 bucks or not. Because that's what the market at the moment is giving us. Yeah, also here, nothing big. It's always the same. 32, 38, 32, 38, indicating we will see until end of May a price above of 38k. But nobody knows what they are using, what they are doing with these options. If they are hedging some spot or using shorts at the same time, nobody really knows about that. So it's really, really, really difficult to say what will happen here next, to be honest. Let us go forward. So if we take a look here, let us start and check where should I start here. I mean, that was yesterday. Well, why not? Let us start here. Let us check how much they are buying. So if we take a look here, that's Binance, Binance only, and we see here almost 60 millions aggregated, almost the same. BUSD declined by 8 millions, indicating they are selling more than buying, but it's also something I can't see because they are taking out BUSD, more BUSD, and so on and so forth. 50 millions now in US dollars. Coin margin contracts only 12 millions. And wow, stablecoin futures even negative while the price goes up. Short selling with stablecoin futures. Someone is shorting while pushing up the price with spot. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. So first they started with Bitcoin collateral, now even with stablecoin futures. Well, Binance, BUSD, we know, a lot down. Bitfinex, wow, I mean, it's, look what they pushed here hard, and they are almost done. They are almost done. They are almost 1,000, 2,000 Bitcoins away to distribute everything what they have purchased before. So it seems the whole distribution is happening because of Bitfinex and Binance. Bybit, well, almost doing the same, just better. They started to distribute here. So really just better. Well, Coinbase, absolutely different. And that's also very interesting what Skew52 was saying. He said on Coinbase, big guys are passive selling, means they are using orders, and retail is buying. So retail pushing up and just triggering the orders of the big guys, and they are selling. And however, you can see what retail then is doing, if he is right. Oh, that's crazy. Well, on Bitstamp, crazy because it's like a copy of the market, of the price. Yeah, Kraken also pushing up. Gemini also pushing up. Always the same thing. So now sentiment. On sentiment, we have seen, you remember, we had here, that was the last big 1.32 billions they purchased here. They start to distribute afterwards. So 470 millions here, and afterwards 755 millions here, and they distributed another 212 millions here. Then they sent another 210 millions here, pushing out the price again, and then they distributed 286 million. So that's what they are doing. That's everything what they are doing. Pushing up, distribute, pushing up, distribute. And also here, you can see that's Tether. Well, a lot of yellow, distribution. A lot of yellow, here, distribution. A lot of yellow, distribution. And now, right now, wow, that was 24 millions by USDC. They are doing exactly the same, and that's BUSD. And you can see BUSD is almost sometimes 3.3 millions, then another 4 millions, but it's almost blue. Someone is taking out BUSD from, yeah, not from Coinbase, of course, from Binance. You can see the volume here. So, well, and some Gemini US dollars. Not big, but, well. If we take a look here, we can see that the market maker is doing what? Declining. Declining. This guy is now lifted up. Retail buying. This guy is declining more. So up, up, declined, down, down, well, up, and unchanged. So if we take a look to the wallet counts, of course up, declined a lot, okay, up, 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 trend is up but declined a little bit, declined, now lifting up a little bit, market maker entities pushing up more. So if we take a look, for example, while the balance has declined, that's the most interesting part. So if we take a look, 1,894 wallets, 1,894, 16 wallets more since beginning of March, while we have less balances. Means these guys here should, no, but the wallets are lifting up and count. So maybe some market maker wallets shifted up. How much? Here usually it's just about 1 or 2. Yeah, 3 wallets. But that's really strange. Why? I mean, they declined and they pushed up. So I guess some of these wallets here, because between those here, you will always have 3 or 4 wallets who are shifting. Because the problem here, we have almost 80% of these wallets are centralized exchanges, Gemini, Kraken, whatever. When they reduced below 10,000, they shifted here. And when they receive more, so we will have some, some changes always between, correlated changes between these both entities, just because of that. But yeah, that's almost it. So yeah, nothing to see. The market maker is not accumulating at all. So let us here refresh, and then I think we should start to go to the next chapter. Yeah, nothing here. 400 bitcoins here, 500 bitcoins here. Distributing. Also here, everything went down a lot. I mean, Bitfinex declined a lot. Gemini still a little bit more up, but that's it. Everything extremely low in the weights ratio. That's actually weights ratio, not only spot, but including derivatives. Funds in general are increasing a little bit, but we are talking about 300 bitcoins or something, nothing big. Derivatives volume, as you see, rising more, and spot declining more. And that's it. Let's go forward. So I've started to reduce a lot here the volume. 40 bitcoins for Coinbase is something absolutely okay, because then we see the concentration. We can see that what they are doing here. At the moment we are trading here almost to the up, to I would say to the local top. The local top right here is at the moment on Coinbase at 28,500, and usually the concentration here is at 25k, right? So yeah, 25.5, 25, yeah, 25k. So we are trading here, and in my opinion, it will take a little bit, maybe 1, 2, 3 days, I don't know, and then we will go down to 25k, and then we need to see what's going to happen next, to be honest, but that's how it looks like at the moment. So Bitstamp, on Bitstamp, yeah, 26, but also 25, and reinforced 29.5, and so on and so forth. So also indicating they are, it seems they you know, they don't have a big interest at the moment. Binance maintaining the price. They are happy to see the current price, so they can keep distributing in that area. The next, we, in my opinion, you can see they are doing exactly the same like Coinbase, right? So we have a lot. I mean, we are talking here about 100 Bitcoins each. When it's a white bar, it has 100 Bitcoins or more. And then they use here as well some orders to maintain the price. I guess also some of them are spoofing. And in my opinion, that's the most relevant part here. 25. We see also here they are bringing some stuff at 24, and also here at 23. We will see how far they want to go, to be honest. One thing, even, you know, I don't like Paulo at all from Tether, but he did a comment that could be absolutely interesting. I'm looking for it. Okay, just a minute away from Twitter, and I'm receiving a lot of comments once again. Stop with it, guys. Stop with it. No, not at all. I like it. So keep doing it. Jesus, where is it? Where is it? So here it is. Paolo. Well, yes, if you're wondering, Paolo just blocked me once, but it's okay. I think we don't miss each other. However, homo faber fortunae suae means if you make trading decisions based on doggy, hope, or rumors, don't complain if something goes against your expectations. That's the free market, guys. That's the free market. That's how it works. Just follow what Paulo says, because he knows what's going to happen next. And I don't think that he is just following my YouTube channel, or he's using maybe a ghost account to follow my analysis. I don't think so. I just think that these guys know exactly what's going to happen next. And another very, very, very interesting thing is what happens if gold above of 2K. RTFM didn't use this in such long time. Yeah, I mean, you know, he is telling us almost that big pain is coming, and you should be careful. But I need to say, Paulo, why should do Alan something different than you? Why he doesn't have the right to do what you love to do? Full retail. That's the only thing. It's not the first time that he did it. And he is not going to stop with that, because that's Alan. Like, Paulo is Paulo. And Tether is Tether. And Trash is close to Tether. That's the only thing. However, so, yeah, something big is going to happen. So let us keep in mind the 25k here. And then let us see if that's done. Usually, when Paulo makes such comments, and I know it just from the past, because I remember all these green pictures and red pictures, and to be honest, he was always very accurate. And usually when he makes such messages, something big is happening. Something big will happen. Crazy that he was mentioning gold, because I think maybe that, I don't know, actually, I don't know Paulo in person, but I think we have the same in mind. Big things will happen very soon, and that's just going to be the initiation and foretaste of what will happen in the next 2 years. However, related to crypto, 25k is, in my opinion, the first station we should have in mind. In the past, when we pushed down, they started to protect 25k also a lot. Even they reduced from 25.7 then to 25.3. But it seems that also 23 could be possible, and 22, and as you see what they did. So the main part would be, if we go more down, would be here, the POC that we have at 22.4 at the moment. That's how it looks like. But 25 is, in my opinion, something we should have in mind. And well, option traders also now trading the same. BTC BUSD, yeah, 2026, for example, they are waiting at 26, reinforcing 30k, for example, and we need to go forward. Bitfinex, on Bitfinex, they are still holding the price, like Binance, for example, and waiting at 24.5 instead, and even a little bit lower, 23. OKEX spot, nothing as usual. Kraken also 25. So yeah, if in my opinion it looks extremely solid to make a quick money, is just with low leverage to short here and wait to go down to 25k, and then sit on your hands or something. I don't know. Yeah, nothing here. BitMEX, no derivatives. Bybit, BTC USD, nothing. BTC USDT, nothing. No BTC USDT on Binance. 28.5 and even protecting 28.3, and at the same time reducing here 27, now waiting at, well, 27.2, now waiting at 27, and even here reinforcing 26.8 and waiting here 25.5. So once again waiting there. BTC BUSD waiting at 25.5. Bitfinex derivatives. Wow. Okay. Nothing big, but when I see such trades, usually they are ready. If we reduce a little bit more, you can see them. They start to send more volume than afterwards. But at the moment, you know, that's what they are doing, just maintaining the price, and we can make some money here with little swings, a little bit more up, then more, once again down, then a little bit more up, then more down. 27 on Kraken futures, and that's it. OKEX futures waiting here also at 27.6. Deribit, wow, Deribit between 27 and 26.6 and 25.5. While they removed all the orders above. So that's it. So, well, first of all, if we go down just in the next few days, 25.8 will be here, right? 25.8, we can go a little bit more lower to that direction here, 25 for example, and well, then go up back to 29.3 for example. We need to see. You see what the Fed net liquidity indicator did. So we went up, then down. So we went up, down. That would be here. Then we pushed up more. That's here. And now we should decline. So the question is, so for, let us say, really just 25. In my opinion, we can even go down to 20K. Or at least 21.2 or something, and then push up more, because that's what the Fed net liquidity is showing. And usually Bitcoin with delay is following, but it's, you know, we need to see if that's the case. However, but that would be something I would also expect. If we take a look now to the what we are doing here, we see that we have here, for example, let me just, almost here, a little bit more down. So we should go here to 27, and that explains why they are waiting at 27, because that would be a bounce. So actually something doing like finally break, go down, maintain here, you know, push even more up, for example, to 27.8, and then finally go down to 25, 25.5, 25, maintain there. And that then we need to see. Then we really need to see if we are like a poker gamer would say now. We need to see if we are receiving a good hand or not. Maybe it's not, indicating that's it. So, and then afterwards we will push up. Or in other cases, my expectations would be to go here to 21.5 and maybe even a little bit lower to 20,500 from here. Then we need to see. I mean, that's the thing. Step by step and check what's happening. So first station would be just to be prepared in case of, is to go down 27, you know, maybe go a little bit more up, down 25, and then we need to see what's going to. I think we will maintain that level, go up, go down, go up, and then finally go more down, and then maybe go once again up. That's something we need to see. We really need to see, because, you know, futures, it's absolutely useless at the moment. They are just following what the market is doing, or the futures is controlling the market, if you want. So at the moment, not really useful in my opinion. What we have is, well, the Wells ratio, but at the moment looks more the 1 hour time frame. That's what I'm tracking at the moment, more than the 1 day time frame, because usually in the past that was the pattern. The Wells ratio, when it started to dump, was when also the price started to follow. That's not happening at the moment. Maybe this time even with more delay. That's also possible, something we need to see. And well, I mean, everything else, in my opinion, yeah, it's option traders short term expecting to see a price at 25K. But for May, I mean, only because they are saying puts 25K doesn't mean 25K it is. We can go to 20K and they would make a big money with that. So, you know, only because they are trading a call 30K doesn't mean they are expecting 30K. They are expecting a price reaching 30K or above. If they go above, more money they will make. So it's possible to see it. I mean, in the daily one, it would make absolutely sense to me to see that, you know, to go down to 20K. I mean, that would be crazy to go back to 17.5 something. You know, I'm bearish. So, but at the moment, I can imagine to see 20.19.8 or something, and then start to push up back to 28.8, go down, and then more up, hitting 40k or something. I really don't know. As long authorities, regulation, and so on, it's not happening, nothing will happen. Absolutely nothing will happen. So as long they keep printing and minting Tether, they can still pushing up the price. It doesn't matter at all. And that's what's happening since a while. I mean, even with Binance. The question is, an event can trigger a crash, a nuke. It's not happening. While it's not happening, everything is fine. As you can see, business as usual. So we need to see. But, in my opinion, 25k should be the next station. And then afterwards, if we really break then 25k, the next one should be something between 20,000 and 21. And also here, then we need to see what will be the next step. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was useful for you. Be careful. Take care. Big love. Your Inspo. See you tomorrow.